Good morning, dear student. I am Professor Eva Rani. Today in this video, I will discuss about the concept of measures of dispersion. What is dispersion and their measures of dispersion? So dispersion refers to the variation of the items among themselves or around an average. It means dispersion is the variation in data. How the data is variated in a series, that is only, and how to calculate that variation, that is known as the dispersion. Greater the variation among different items of a series, there will be more dispersion. More variation, more dispersion. As per Bowley, dispersion is a measure of variation of the items. The measure of dispersion shows that homogeneity or heterogeneity of the distribution of observation. And how to calculate the variation in data is known as measures of dispersion. Basically, it has been divided into absolute measure and relative measure. Absolute measures give the exact value. Whatever the value they have given in the range, the same value will be coming under the range. That is absolute measure. Relative measures will be comparing the two values. Under the absolute measure, there are different types of measures of dispersion. The first is a range, quartile deviation, mean deviation, and standard deviation. In relative measures, we have coefficient of variation, coefficient of quartile deviation, coefficient of mean deviation, and coefficient of range as well. So coming to the first measures of dispersion is range. It is most common and easily understandable measure of dispersion. It is widely used. It is very simple to calculate. So it is also known as simplest measures of dispersion. Range is just the difference between two extreme observation of the data set. So range can be calculated largest value, difference between the largest value and smallest value. So range can be L minus S. L is here largest value, S is the smallest value. And coefficient of range is calculated as largest L minus S divided by L plus S. Coming to the next deviation, that is quartile deviation. So here quartile deviation, it divides whole data set into 4 parts. And it is also, quartile deviation is also known as semi-interquartile range. So there are, as the quartile deviation is dividing the whole data into 4 parts, there will be 3 components in that. That is, the first is known as first quartile, or it is represented as Q1. The second quartile is Q2, and the third quartile is Q3. So Q2 is also known as median of data set. How to calculate the quartile deviation? The quartile deviation formula is Q3 minus Q1 divided by 2. And coefficient of quartile deviation formula is Q3 minus Q1 divided by Q3 plus Q1. For now, we have to calculate, before calculating the quartile deviation, we need to calculate the value of Q1 and Q3. Q1 is first quartile. So here, for ungrouped data or for individual observation, the Q1 will be calculated as n plus 1 by 4th observation. As the whole data is divided into 4 parts, so Q1 will be n plus 1 by 4th observation. And Q3 will be 3 into n plus 1 by 4th observation. After calculating Q1 and Q3, we can calculate the Q3 minus Q1 divided by 2 will give you the quartile deviation. And coming to the group data, when there will be a class interval, the quartile can be calculated as lower quartile, that is Q1, L plus n by 4 minus F C divided by frequency multiplied by width or width of the class interval. So here first lower quartile and Q3 also, it will be only the differences, instead of n by 4 it will be 3n by 4. So here n by 4 is number of observation. They have given L will be lower limit of quartile class. So we have to look into the quartile class, and whatever the lower limit of the quartile class will be there, That will be your L plus N by 4. And here FC is cumulative frequency. In few places you can see it is written as CF as well. And frequency of quartile class, that's why it has been represented as Q. And W will be the width of the class interval. We can calculate with this formula. The next is mean deviation. The next type of measure of dispersion is mean deviation. So it is used to calculate how far the values fall from the middle of the data set. So deviation from the mean is considered as mean deviation. The variation of data from the mean, from the averages. So mean deviation can be calculated with below steps. First is find the mean value for the given data value. Then we need to subtract the mean values from each of data values given. And in mean deviation, we used to ignore whatever the minus values we are getting. And now find the mean of those values obtained in second step. The formula to calculate the mean deviation for the given data set is mean deviation is equal to summation of x mod of x minus mu, or it will be mean divided by n. It is for the ungrouped data when there will be no frequency. Then we can use this formula. So mean deviation here, this mean deviation can be mean deviation from mean, it can be mean deviation from median, it can be mean deviation from mode. Only the value here, it will be changed. If it is mean deviation from mean, it will be the summation of mod of x minus mean. If it is mean deviation from median, it will be x minus median divided by it. If it is mean deviation from mode, it will be x minus median divided or mode divided by. For ungrouped data, summation of x minus mean divided by n, mod, this symbol is known as mod. In mean deviation, symbol here mod will represent, if we are getting x minus mean is minus 5, we will not consider the minus here. It will be considered as 5 itself. And here for grouped data, only this should be multiplied by the frequency. So here it will be x minus mean divided by n, and for group data, if there is a frequency, it will be multiplied by the frequency. The last technique of measures of dispersion is standard deviation, but it is most important and widely used measure of dispersion. It is first used by Carl Pearson in 1893. It is also known as root mean square deviation. It is Hardiness deviation. It is defined as the square root of arithmetic mean of the square deviation of the values taken from the mean, and it is denoted by sigma. So formula of standard, there are different formulas, you can use it. The first, it will be the simplest one, which is widely used, is root of summation of x minus average of x whole square divided by n. Or you can use this formula as root of summation of x squared by n minus summation of x by n whole square. And for group data, only here frequency will be multiplied. So here the first formula will be f into summation of x minus x square divided by n. And here the other formula will be root of summation of fx squared by n minus summation of fx by n ka whole square. The another measure of dispersion is, it is also known as variance. Variance is nothing, it is the square of standard deviation. So variance will be also a measure of variability in data. Just a standard deviation of a square will give you the value of variance. And last is the coefficient of variation. It is also developed by Carl Pearson. How it is standard deviation? It is known as relative measure of dispersion. It is used to compare the variability in the data, homogeneity in the data, consistency of the data, and it can be calculated at CV of standard deviation. CV is standard deviation divided by mean multiplied by 100. So I hope basic concept of measures of dispersion you have understood.